The dying Princess Ethan Gray lived alone on a coal mining station near the edge of an alien world. Called Seraphis, he was a simple man, a healer and a mechanic who fixed broken bots and sick miners. He never dreamed his quiet life would change. But one stormy night, the wind screamed through the metal walls and brought with it something that would bind him to a whole planet. Outside his small station, engines roared louder than thunder. Ethan grabbed his old plasma torch and went to the docking bay. His boots sank into fresh snow as he saw a big, shining alien ship landing clumsily. Bright blue lights lit up the dark. The ship's ramp opened fast and 4 tall alien guards came out. They wore heavy armor, faces hidden behind glowing helmets. One of them stepped forward and spoke in a voice mixed with static. "Are you Ethan Gray, human healer?" Ethan nodded, confused but calm. "Yes, but who are you?" Without another word, the guards carried something down the ramp. It was a young alien girl. Her skin was pale silver. Her long dark hair stuck to her forehead with sweat. Her clothes were fine silk, but ripped and stained with purple blood. Her body looked so light in their arms. The guard said quickly, "She is Princess Zira of Seraphis. She is poisoned. You must cure her, or she will die before sunrise." Ethan stared at the girl. Her lips were dry, and strange symbols glowed faintly on her neck and wrists. He had never treated an alien royal before. "Why me? Your planet must have better doctors," Ethan asked. The guard's voice shook with fear. "Our healers failed. The poison is unknown. You have Earth knowledge. You must try. If she dies, we all die too." They pushed past him into the station. Ethan followed them, heart pounding. Inside a small med room, he told them to lay her on an old treatment bed. Lights flickered above her fragile form. He put on his gloves and scanned her body with an old handheld device. The scanner beeped with strange readings. Her blood was burning from the inside. Princess Zira's eyelids twitched. A weak sound came from her lips. Ethan bent close and heard her whisper, "It hurts. Help me." Something in his chest tightened. She was no alien to him now. She was just a young girl in pain. He turned to the guards. "Get out. I need space and quiet." The guards hesitated but obeyed. The door closed behind them. Ethan took a deep breath and touched Zira's cold hand. "Stay with me, Princess. I won't let you go." He started cleaning her wounds first. The purple blood smelled like sweet flowers. He injected a mild sedative and checked his old Earth med kit. Nothing in there could fight an alien poison. He thought hard, remembering old books and his father's lessons. Then he noticed something strange, small metal dots under her skin near the veins. Tiny poison capsules. Whoever did this was clever. The poison spread slowly, but killed deeply. Ethan picked up a micro tool and carefully made small cuts to remove the capsules one by one. Zira flinched in pain, but did not wake. Sweat dripped down Ethan's face as he worked for hours. Outside, the wind howled like wolves. When the last capsule was out, he mixed a special serum from old Earth plants and injected it near her heart. The scanner beeped slower now. Her heartbeat steadied, but she was not safe yet. He connected her to an oxygen mask and whispered, "Fight, Princess. Your people need you." Suddenly, a bang hit the door. The guards shouted, "Assassins! They found us!" Ethan froze. His mind raced. He was no soldier, but he knew one thing: if Zira died now, the planet might burn in civil war. He grabbed an old mining laser and locked the med room door from inside. Princess Zira's eyes opened halfway. She looked weak but aware. Her lips moved slowly, voice like a ghost. "Don't leave me." Ethan knelt beside her, holding her hand tighter. "I won't. I promise you. I will not leave you alone." Outside, the noise grew louder. Ethan heard blasters, screams, and metal cracking. But inside that small med room, a human and a dying princess were connected by a promise stronger than fear. As the storm roared over Seraphis, Ethan knew deep in his heart this night changed everything. He was just a miner son once. Now, he was the only shield between a poisoned princess and the deadly shadows waiting outside. And he had no plan to run. Royal secrets. The cold night outside Ethan's station turned darker than ever. The alien guards fought bravely near the entrance, but Ethan heard their weapons failing one by one. Princess Zira lay still, her breathing soft but uneven. Ethan knew she was not fully safe yet. He needed more time, but the assassins outside would not wait. He locked the med room's inner door with an old iron rod. He could hear boots stomping closer through the metal floor. Zira's eyes fluttered open. Her silver irises glowed faintly in the dim light. She saw Ethan's worried face and tried to speak. "They come for me. They want me dead," she whispered, voice weak but sharp. Ethan leaned close, trying to calm her. "Who wants you dead, princess? I need to know everything. No more secrets." Tears welled in Zira's eyes. "My half-brother. He wants the throne. My father trusted me more. He poisoned me secretly. My people think I am sick. Only he knows the truth. If I die, he becomes king by law." Ethan's heart pounded. So this was no simple royal girl. She was the true heir, holding her planet's peace in her veins. If she died, Seraphis would fall into chaos. Suddenly, a heavy bang rattled the door. Ethan pulled Zira off the bed slowly and hid her behind old supply crates. He grabbed his mighty laser, shaking but ready. The door bent inwards. Sparks flew as metal ripped apart. One tall assassin stepped inside, wearing black armor and a silver mask. Red eyes glowed behind it. The assassin aimed a silent blaster at Ethan's chest. Ethan raised the mighty laser with trembling hands. He had never killed before. The assassin stepped forward without fear, ready to end this weak human. But before the shot came, a small hand grabbed Ethan's wrist. It was Zira, standing unsteady, but defiant. Her voice was like iron, even half dead. "Stand down, assassin," she commanded, her royal tone echoing through the small room. The masked assassin paused, almost confused. Zira pushed past Ethan, holding the supply crate for support. She faced the killer who was once her guard. "Look at me. I am still your princess," she said with authority. "Betray me and you betray Seraphis. You will burn with my brother when this ends." The assassin hesitated, blaster lowering by an inch. For 1 second, Ethan saw a flicker of loyalty behind that cold mask. But another shadow moved behind the assassin, a second killer, silent as a ghost. Without thinking, Ethan shoved Zira aside and fired the mighty laser. A beam of burning light cut through the silent killer's shoulder. The second assassin fell with a muffled scream. The first assassin turned and fired wildly. Ethan ducked, pulling Zira to the floor with him. Blaster shots ripped the bedroom walls. Sparks rained down like fireflies. Ethan knew they couldn't stay here. Zira clung to him, whispering, "Please, take me away from here. Somewhere safe." "Safe? Where on this planet is safe for you now?" Ethan gasped, eyes darting around. "For a plan." Zira grabbed his face with her cold hands, forcing him to look at her. "There's an ancient rule. You saved me. My planet owes you a life debt now. Seraphis must protect you as its own. My brother can't kill you openly, unless he wants civil war." Ethan could barely process her words. "What? Your planet owes me? Princess, I am just a minor son." She smiled weakly, but with a proud spark in her eyes. "Not anymore." A sudden crash outside made them both flinch. The last loyal guards were dead or dying. The masked assassin raised his blaster again. Stepping over the second body, Ethan held Zira's hand tightly. "We run now, or we die here." With Zira leaning on his shoulder, Ethan kicked open a back panel in the bedroom. Behind it was a forgotten maintenance shaft. Freezing wind blew in, carrying snowflakes and the sound of distant shouting. Ethan pushed Zira inside first, then crawled after her. The shaft was narrow and pitch dark, metal cold against their skin. Behind them, the assassin roared and fired blindly into the shaft, but missed by inches. They crawled through icy darkness, breathing hard. Zira's soft voice echoed close to his ear. "Why do this for me, Ethan? You could run away alone." He kept crawling, heartbeat louder than the storm outside. "I don't know. Maybe I hate seeing a good person die for nothing." Zira's hand squeezed his. "Even poison, even hunted," she whispered. "Then I swear Seraphis is yours now. As long as I breathe, my people will fight for you." Behind them, the station burned slowly under assassin blasters, but ahead of them in the freezing tunnels, a bond stronger than any royal oath was born between a simple human and a princess who refused to die. And in the shadows of Seraphis, secrets and betrayals waited for them both. But Ethan Gray had made his choice. He would stand between Zira and every blade pointed at her heart, no matter the cost. The hidden Oath maintenance shaft was a narrow snake of frozen metal that twisted under Ethan's broken station. Cold air bit into their skin, and every few meters, a metal drip fell on Zira's forehead, making her flinch. Ethan crawled first, one hand always reaching back to check if Zira was behind him. Each time, her cold fingers gripped his wrist like an oath. "Don't let go." Behind them, angry footsteps echoed through the shaft opening. The masked assassin had not given up. Ethan could hear the faint scraping of armored boots and a low growl of a voice, cursing the traitor princess and worthless human. Zira's breathing grew heavier. Her poison wounds reopened as she dragged herself forward. Ethan whispered, "Just hold on, princess. This shaft leads to the old fuel hangar. We hide there." Zira coughed weakly, but forced a smile. "You speak like a soldier." I'm a fool who fixes broken robots and helps dying royals." He pushed a rusted hatch open and pulled Zira into a wide, dark chamber filled with old fuel tanks. Snow blew in from cracks in the hangar walls. The wind made the tanks groan. Like restless ghosts, Ethan gently laid Zira behind a huge empty tank. She shivered and tugged at his sleeve. Her silver eyes locked with his, even as pain burned in them. "Ethan, listen. If I die, Surface will burn. My brother will be king. The tribes will rebel. Millions will die." Ethan wiped her tears with his dirty sleeve. "Then don't die. Stay alive. That's your job now." Zira let out a small laugh, which turned into a choking cough. She grabbed his collar, pulling his face close. "Hear my words. In my people's law, you have my life dead now. It is sacred, breakable only by blood or death. You are not just a healer anymore. You hold my throne with your hands." Ethan felt the truth of her words sink into his bones. Outside this freezing hangar, he was still a poor human no one cared about. But here, with Zira's breath on his face and the sound of assassins closing in, he was suddenly the axis on which a whole world would spin. A sudden crash of metal made him spin around. 3 assassins entered through a broken hangar gate, guns aimed low, scanning the shadows. Their masks glowed red in the dark. Ethan crouched low, mind racing. His mining laser was drained. Zira's eyes rolled back. She was slipping into unconsciousness. Again, if they found her now, all his promises would mean nothing. Desperate, Ethan crawled to an old fuel valve. He remembered the old miners used to joke that one spark near these tanks would send half the station to the stars in pieces. His shaking hands unscrewed the valve slowly. Frozen gas hissed out, filling the hangar with a sharp, cold smell. The assassins paused, sniffing the air. One of them barked something in an alien tongue. They knew. They aimed at the fuel tanks, and at Ethan's hiding spot. He crawled back to Zira and pressed his forehead against hers. "Sorry, princess. You asked me to protect you, so I'll protect you my way." He picked up a broken power cell from the floor, just enough spark inside to light a fire. With trembling fingers, he tossed it behind the tanks farthest from them. The power cell hit the metal, and a spark flew. For a split second, silence filled the hangar. Then the world cracked open in fire. A thunderous blast shook the walls. Flames roared through the fuel chamber, swallowing 2 assassins instantly. The third screamed. Rolling in fire, the shockwave slammed into Ethan and Zira, pushing them behind the big tank like ragdolls. When the roar died, all that was left was dancing fire, twisted metal, and snow falling through a new hole in the ceiling. Ethan gasped for breath, his ears ringing. Zira coughed, but she was alive. He pulled her up, ignoring the pain in his ribs. Above them, through the smoking hole, the cold starry sky glittered. The blast had cleared a path to the surface. Ethan looked down at the girl who now owned his fate and whispered, "Come on, Your Highness. Let's get you home, or whatever home is for you now." She opened her eyes slowly. Her voice was soft but clear, echoing the ancient power of her bloodline. "Home is wherever you are, Ethan Gray. You carry Surface now. We will fight. For you, always." With the wreckage burning behind them and enemy ships searching the frozen lands, Ethan knew they were far from safe. But one thing was unbreakable now: this oath between human and princess would change a planet's destiny. And as he carried her out into the stormy night, the silent sky above Surface watched a new legend take its first breath, hunted again. The cold wind of Surface howled across the shattered landscape. The fire from the hangar still glowed behind them, lighting the night with broken flame and rising smoke. Ethan stumbled through snowdrifts with Princess Zira cradled in his arms. She was barely conscious, her skin pale silver, streaked with soot and blood. Above them, the night sky buzzed with movement. Enemy patrol ships swept low, their spotlights slicing through the dark like blades. Ethan moved with one thought: keep her alive. The old mining trail led through jagged cliffs and rock tunnels. Ethan knew this land better than the maps he had once explored these paths, looking for rare minerals and solitude. Now they were his only hope of hiding from a royal death squad. Zira stirred weakly in his arms. "Where are we?" Underground tunnel system, he whispered. Old smuggler paths. No sensors work here. We'll rest soon. They reached a narrow crevice hidden beneath a large boulder. Ethan squeezed inside with Zira, crawling through tight stone passages, until they reached a hollow cave lit by the soft glow of bioluminescent moss. He laid her down gently on a flat stone. The air smelled damp, but safe for now. Zira tried to sit up, but fell back, clutching her side. The poison, it's not gone. Ethan checked the wound. Her blood had started to glow again. Whatever mix her brother used was advanced it reactivated under stress. Damn it, he muttered. I flushed your blood once. I'll do it again. Zira grabbed his wrist. No, you'll die. It absorbs through skin. He met her gaze, eyes sharp with defiance. Then I'll wear gloves. Using the combination of old human antibiotics and alien biogel, Ethan built a makeshift transfusion system using broken wires and a power coil. He cut into his own machine filters, repurposed an old for tube, and started pulling the poison from her bloodstream again drop by drop. Zira moaned in pain, but her breathing steadied after a while. You shouldn't care this much, she whispered, her voice thin like glass. Too late, Ethan replied. You're stuck with me now. Suddenly, a loud screech echoed from the surface. Zira sat up, fear striking her like lightning. Hunter-class flyers, not drones, beasts. Beasts, Ethan frowned. She nodded. My brother's private collection, winged predators. Half-machine, trained to track only by fear, and scent of royal blood. Ethan looked around. The cave was too small. If the creatures found them, they'd be torn apart. Outside, the ground trembled. A deep, guttural growl rolled through the earth like thunder. Zira's eyes widened in terror. They're close. Ethan grabbed his laser torch and tossed fuel moss onto it. Fire erupted, filling the cave with harsh smoke. We mask your scent. Fast. He smeared ash and mud across Zira's skin and his own. The smoke made them cough, but it blurred their trail. A moment later, the cave ceiling cracked. A giant, winged beast crashed through, its body armored in red-black metal, its mouth lined with blade-like teeth. It screamed louder than thunder and swung a claw the size of a sword. Ethan rolled over Zira and pulled his sidearm. One shot. Two. They bounced off the metal hide. The beast lunged again. Zira suddenly sat up, weak but determined. She raised her blood-covered hand and screamed something in her native tongue. The beast froze mid-attack. Its head tilted. Its wings twitched. Ethan stared in disbelief as the monstrous thing slowly backed away, then knelt. What did you do? He asked, still aiming. Blood command, Zira whispered. Only royals can use it, and only when near death. The beast lowered its head. Zira reached out and touched it gently. He will carry us now. My brother sent this beast to kill me, but now it serves the one I serve. She looked at Ethan. You, she said softly. You cured me again, and now even monsters kneel to you. Ethan helped her climb onto the beast's back. He followed, unsure of what was real anymore. They flew into the sky, the beast roaring into the wind. Behind them, enemy ships saw the flash and turned in pursuit. Ethan held Zira tight as the sky around them lit up with enemy fire. Zira whispered through the chaos, if we survive this night, you'll understand what you've started can't be undone. You carry more than my life now. You carry my world's last hope. And Ethan, as the cold air tore across his face, knew she was right. He was no longer just running. He was leading something bigger than rebellion. He was flying straight into a war he never asked for, armed with only courage, love, and a royal oath burned into his soul. The promise of Seraphis. The winged beast sliced through the freezing winds of Seraphis, its metallic feathers shimmering under the pale moonlight. Beneath its armored hide, Ethan could feel the powerful heart beating like a war drum. Zira lay against his chest, her arms weakly clinging to his jacket. Each breath she took made Ethan's heart clench tighter. He knew she was still losing blood inside, despite his desperate efforts to cleanse the poison. Below them, the snowy plains blurred into endless white. Behind them, the enemy scout flyers chased their trail, shooting bright plasma bursts into the night. The beast growled deep in its throat, banking hard to dodge the incoming fire. Sparks flew past Ethan's face so close he could smell burning fur and metal. Zira's cracked voice trembled in his ear. Fly to the moon pillar, northern ridge. Loyalists wait there. They sent secret signal. Ethan had no idea where the moon pillar was, but he didn't argue. He gripped the beast's neck spines and yelled over the wind, Go, North Ridge. As if understanding, The creature screamed back, its eyes glowing red as it dove lower and faster, wings tearing through the icy air like blades. Behind them, the enemy flyers closed in. A sudden plasma shot hit the beast's left wing. It shrieked in agony, spiraling downwards. Zira cried out, her nails digging into Ethan's arm. He held her tighter, his other hand pulling a flare from his belt. "Hold on," he roared. He cracked the flare open and tossed it backward. The burning signal blinded the nearest enemy pilot. For a split second, long enough for the beast to recover and skim across the snowy ground like a giant hawk hunting prey. Trees appeared ahead, black claws scratching the sky. The beast dove into the frozen forest, weaving between trunks so fast Ethan's vision blurred. Branches snapped behind them. The enemy ships hovered above, unable to follow in the dense woods. Ethan pressed his lips to Zira's temple. "Stay awake, princess. Talk to me." She coughed weakly, her words broken but fierce. "I owe you more than life. My people must know you are not just healer. You are our shield, our sword." Her eyes rolled back, but Ethan shook her gently. "Stay awake. You said loyalists are waiting." "Where?" Zira forced her eyes open, tears freezing on her cheeks. "Look for stone shaped like a crescent. Moon pillar. Under it, hidden temple." The beast slowed, snout sniffing the air like a bloodhound. Through the trees, moonlight broke across a rocky hill, a giant white stone curved like a broken moon, glowing faintly under the stars. Ethan's heart leapt with hope. "That's it. Take us down." The beast landed hard, snow exploding under its talons. Ethan jumped off, half carrying Zira as she drifted in and out of consciousness. The beast limped behind them, one wing dragging, but it watched the shadows protectively. The moon pillar loomed over them. At its base, old runes flickered to life. Sensing Zira's royal blood, stone cracked open silently, revealing a hidden tunnel lit by warm blue crystals. Inside, the armored figures stepped forward, humans in alien-made armor, their chests marked with the sigil of the true royal house. They saw Zira's half-lifeless form and dropped to one knee at once. One warrior removed his helmet, showing a scarred, loyal face. "Your Highness, we feared the poison took you." Zira lifted her head, her voice hoarse but sharp like a blade. "My brother hunts me still, but I am alive because of him." She pointed weakly to Ethan. The warrior stared at Ethan, just a simple miner with blood and soot on his face. They bowed low, one voice trembling. "By royal code, we serve the protector of the air. As we serve her blood," Ethan wanted to protest, but Zira pressed her hand to his cheek. "Don't argue. You saved more than me tonight. You saved Seraphi's future." One loyalist guided them deeper underground. The hidden temple was warm, its walls carved with ancient history stories of kings, wars, and a goddess who once promised her children would never bow to corruption. He laid Zira on a crystal bed that glowed softly, slowing her poisoned blood once more. Healers, half doctors, half priests surrounded her, chanting and mixing glowing medicines Ethan couldn't even name. He stood back, shivering in torn clothes, watching strangers treat a girl he had risked everything for. The scarred warrior approached him, kneeling again. "The princess told us you carry her life debt. By law, you hold claim to her throne's protection and to her people's oath." Ethan laughed bitterly, eyes wet with exhaustion. "I didn't ask for any of this." The warrior's eyes shone with respect. "And that is why you deserve it. When she rises as queen, you will stand beside her, not as servant but as her chosen shield. Speak your wish, and Seraphi shall answer." Ethan looked at Zira lying on the crystal bed, fighting death for a second time because of him. Deep inside, past fear and doubt, something unyielding sparked in his soul. "Then I wish this," Ethan said softly, voice stronger than the caves around him. "Keep her alive. Help her reclaim her throne. After that, I don't care what this oath means. I just want her safe." The warrior bowed lower. "Then so it shall be. Your wish is our law." Far above, snow covered the moon pillar, once more hiding the entrance, hiding their vow, hiding the burning promise that when Princess Zira stood again, she would not stand alone, and the human who never asked for power would have the strength of a whole planet. Ready at his command, the return of the true heir deep beneath the moon pillar. The hidden temple of Seraphi's pulsed with a soft blue light, like a heartbeat inside stone. Ancient healers worked tirelessly around Princess Zira's crystal bed. Old songs in a lost tongue filled the air, mixing with the faint hum of alien machines that dripped glowing fluids into her veins. Ethan sat close, his back against the cold crystal wall. His hands were bruised and covered in old blood. He had not slept for 2 nights. Afraid to close his eyes in case Zira needed him again. Beside him, the scarred warrior knelt with head bowed low. The poison is weaker now, the warrior whispered. But she needs royal serum pure blood essence from her family line. Only her brother's chambers hold it. Ethan's eyes narrowed. Then we take it. The warrior hesitated. The royal palace is heavily guarded. Thousands of loyalists died last time we tried. Your life debt binds us to obey, but this mission is suicide. Ethan stood up, swaying a little from exhaustion. His voice came out calm, cold and determined. Suicide or not, if we do nothing, she dies. If she dies, your planet burns. Tell your men to prepare. We move at dawn. As the first light of Surfe's twin suns rose over the frozen plains, a hidden force of rebels gathered beneath the snowy trees near the royal city. They were a ragged army. Some wore scavenged armor, others carried ancient rifles passed down for generations. They looked at Ethan not as a stranger, but as a living banner. News had spread. The human who saved the dying princess twice now marched to reclaim her blood and throne. The scarred warrior handed Ethan a blade forged from starlight alloy. It glowed faintly in the dawn. Mist, this is the sword of the lost guardians, last carried by the royal protector centuries ago. It obeys only a heart that has no greed. Now, it is yours. Ethan took it without a word. For the first time, he did not feel like a miner pretending to be a hero. This was real, this was war. By nightfall, the rebel force crawled through the sewers beneath the palace walls. Tunnels smelled of old oil and cold stone. Above them, the palace shone with cruel beauty, towering spires, golden gates, and guards in obsidian armor. The scarred warrior whispered, "The serum vault is near the inner sanctum. We must pass through the blood gate. It only opens with royal DNA." Ethan held up a small crystal vial filled with Zira's own blood, taken when she first fell into his care. Then we have what we need. A hand signal. Silent shadows moved through the dark tunnels. Muffled grunts and flashes of blades. The guards fell without a cry. The rebels advanced, step by step, heartbeat by heartbeat. Finally, they reached the blood gate, a giant archway pulsing with red energy. Old runes crawled across its surface, like living veins. Ethan pressed the vial into the stone seal. The gate pulsed once, twice, and then opened with a hiss that sounded like a dying serpent. Inside the sanctum, a single figure waited, Prince Zarian, Zira's half-brother. His royal robe flowed like shadow, and his eyes burned with cold rage. Behind him, a golden chest pulsed softly inside it, the last vials of royal blood essence. Zira's only chance. Zarian laughed softly when he saw Ethan, the human healer. "The pet my sister favored over her own blood. You come to steal what is mine." Ethan stepped forward, sword drawn, voice steady. "It was never yours. It's hers, and you poisoned her to steal it. Tonight it ends." Zarian snapped his fingers. Elite guards in black armor poured into the sanctum, forming a wall of shields. The scarred warrior shouted, "For the true queen," and charged first. Chaos exploded, blades clashed, plasma shots cracked against stone walls. Ethan moved like he never thought he could. The guardian sword hummed in his grip, alive with ancient power. Each swing cut through armor like paper. Rebel fighters fell, but more pushed forward, screaming Zira's name like a battle hymn. In the chaos, Ethan locked eyes with Zarian. He ducked under a guard's spear, rolled across the cold marble, and slammed the prince against the blood vault. Zarian drew a hidden dagger, slicing Ethan's arm deeply, but Ethan didn't let go. Rage and love burned hotter than pain. With a roar, Ethan drove the guardian's sword through Zarian's armor. The prince gasped once, then fell silent, sliding down the vault door, leaving a trail of black royal blood. Breathing hard, Ethan kicked the vault open. Glowing vials rolled out, humming with life. He grabbed as many as he could, blood dripping from his own wound. Back through tunnels flooded with retreating rebels, Ethan ran like a man possessed. Enemy horns echoed behind him, but no one could catch him now. He burst into the hidden temple before dawn. The healers gasped at the sight of the vials. "Save her," Ethan commanded, dropping to his knees beside Zira's bed. Now, the head priestess took the essence, mixing it with ancient chants. Blue liquid flowed into Zira's veins. Her chest rose once, twice, then steadied to a strong, sure rhythm. Color returned to her lips. Her eyelids fluttered, and when they opened, they found Ethan's face first. "You came back for me," she whispered, tears falling freely. Ethan held her hand to his cheek. Ignoring the pain in his arm, ignoring the blood still dripping from his side. Always, he said, voice rough but unshakable, always, outside. The loyalist dropped to one knee, chanting her name. Their true queen had returned, and by her side, the human who would one day be remembered in every song sung on Serapis, not as a healer, not as a slave to royal power, but as the man who brought a dying world back to life with nothing but courage and a promise. The planets, both as the first golden rays of Serapis' twin suns, painted the snowy mountains pink and gold. The hidden temple shivered with new life. The rebel banners, once torn scraps of cloth, now hung proudly from the crystal pillars. Warriors in battered armor knelt shoulder to shoulder, their heads bowed not in fear, but in fierce respect. At the heart of this temple, Princess Zira sat upright on her crystal bed, alive and whole again. The royal blood essence had burned away every last trace of her brother's poison. Color warmed her silver skin. Her eyes, once dulled by pain, now burned bright like twin suns of her own. She wore no crown yet, no silk robes, just simple ceremonial cloth wrapped around her shoulders and a band of woven silver metal, binding her hair back. But in that moment, she looked more like a queen than any royal born in gold and lies. And beside her, standing straight despite fresh bandages around his ribs and arm, stood Ethan Gray the miner, the healer, the unexpected savior. The scarred warrior stepped forward and knelt before Zira, pressing his forehead to the icy stone. By blood and by star, he said loudly, his voice echoing down the sacred halls, we, the people of Serapis, bind our hearts to you, Princess Zira, the true heir, and to you, Ethan Gray, the keeper of her life, the shield of her blood. 100 warriors pounded fists to chest in unison. Zira slowly pushed herself to stand. Her knees trembled, but Ethan's steady hand under her arm kept her from falling. She raised her voice, strong enough to reach every corner of the ancient hall. This human risked everything to cure me, not once but twice. He fought hunters, assassins, royal guards. He bled for a throne he never wanted, and when all hope was poisoned, he gave me his own breath to fight on. Serapis owes him not just my life, but our oath. She turned, locking eyes with Ethan. Her gaze softened, but power danced behind it like living flame. Ethan Gray stepped forward. He hesitated, but she pulled him closer until they stood chest to chest before the gathered loyalists. By our oldest law, the planet's oath binds you now. Serapis will shelter your bloodline for 1,000 generations. Your word is command. Your enemies are hunted in the dark and daylight. Your home stands under our wings forever. She paused, then, softer, for only him to hear, and I will stand at your side until the stars forget our names. Before he could speak, Zira leaned close and pressed her forehead to his, a royal gesture older than any crown. Around them, warriors slammed their weapons to the floor in thunderous rhythm, an oath sealed not by paper, but by the heartbeat of an entire world. Hours later, at the first dawn ceremony atop the palace walls, Serapis people flooded the frozen courtyards below. Thousands stood silent as Zira appeared on the highest balcony, wearing new royal armor over her simple healing robe, symbols of peace and battle blended into one. And standing slightly behind her, armored in black and silver, the guardian, sword at his hip, stood Ethan. No crown, no title he had chosen, but every eye looked to him like he was their second son. Zira raised her hand. Her voice rolled like thunder through the icy air. Hear me, tribes of Serapis, you were lied, that you were poisoned by greed, but this human, this healer, fought that poison with his blood. He is proof that courage is not born from royal blood, but from a heart that fears nothing for truth and honor. A roar rose from the crowd, shaking the ancient walls. In the far shadows of the square, spies and assassins who once worked for her dead brother slipped away quietly, knowing the people had chosen. No more secrets, no more fear. Serapis belonged to its people again. Zira turned to Ethan, so close the crowd could see the warmth in her eyes. Say it, she whispered. He blinked, confused. Say what? She smiled, pure, unstoppable, beautiful. Tell them your promise. He looked down at the ocean of faces, at children sitting on father's shoulders, at old miners who reminded him of himself. He let out a breath he didn't know he'd held since the night they carried Zira half dead to his old station. Then he spoke clear, simple, unafraid. I promise you this. As long as I stand beside her, no tyrant will poison your future again. No one will steal your sons and daughters for war. They did not choose. I am no king, but I am yours, like she is yours. The roar that answered him cracked across the frozen valleys, a sound so loud, so alive, that even the ancient royal archives would write of it for centuries to come. Zira's hand slipped into his, fingers curling tightly around his. In that moment, no crown gleamed brighter than the bond between a human, healer, and the queen he had saved not once, but forever, and high above Surface, as snowflakes fell like blessings from the twin suns, the planet whispered its oath into the wind. This one is ours. Guard him well.